Welcome back, everybody, to the World Series Esports College Tournament. We are here with the Bragg House, jumping into our first game, Ohio State versus FSU.
Awesome. Yeah, and we're jumping right into it. We got that 45-minute timer going. Game 2 of our semifinals here at the College World Series, and man, I am stoked, guys. You know, this game yesterday, super tight. Ohio State barely pulling it out. Who you guys picking for today's game?
I know I'm gonna get it again, but I don't know. It's like I think we're gonna go to a game 3.
All right, so you think Florida State's gonna be able to pull out this game 2 here, LaBelle?
I do. I just think that both these teams came to play, and I feel like both these teams, they have that school pride that they don't want to lose, man. So I think they're doing it for their school, man.
Daniel, what about you?
Man, I just want FSU to win, so we go to a tiebreaker, because I actually spoke with the team at FSU, and I told them what Matt has said, and they were like, get the barber numbers ready for him to shave his head.
You know, I'm ready for it. I'm really hoping to see my boys win it. I think that they can pull it out. Thus far, what we've seen from them in the tournament didn't really match what we saw yesterday, so I have a strong feeling that they're going to be able to bring it back today and really come out swinging.
Yeah, so for those of you guys who missed game 1 of the semifinals yesterday, Ohio State with the clutch last-minute win over Florida State, 27-25, a lower scoring game than we're used to from both of these teams, but definitely the nerves getting to them a little bit in that game 1. They're back here, game 2 on day 2. Florida State looking to even up the series and send it to a game 3, which would take place right after this. Ohio State trying to clutch the series out and get them a spot in the finals. I'm super excited. Obviously, we have our stars on each team to look out for. Cup of apple juice for Florida State. little hot and cold, but when he's hot, he's as good as any other player in this tournament. Meanwhile, Ohio State, before I eat cherries, definitely their star player. But Ohio State, as a whole, just a really strong team. You never really see any one player doing poorly. It's a tough pick here.
I do have some interesting news. Their third gamer, Nick Pappy, that actually joined yesterday to their squad, actually had to be replaced because his remote broke, and he couldn't get a new one on time because of COVID-19. So they actually have a new third squad mate, Ohio State. So we need to see how it's gonna affect their game.
Yeah, and Ohio State, they've been really consistent with the subs throughout this entire tournament. We've seen them cycle in about 5 different players now so far over these first 2 rounds.
It's all about the bench players, guys.
No, we have definitely seen the subs, work out really well for a few of these teams. And, it's interesting because you guys really changed a lot from the first tournament. You guys did a March Madness tournament with the Bragg House. Now you guys are doing a World Series of college baseball. So, I know that's, it's been a crazy mashup. We've actually seen the baseball game mechanics really come down to, wins and losses for quite a few teams, including UCLA, who we're going to be watching later on this afternoon. Now, that being said, Ryan, can you kind of walk us through exactly how baseball and Call of Duty have come together?
Yeah, so the Bragg House, they've done this kind of really innovative way of scoring out this tournament to incorporate baseball and the College World Series into Call of Duty, so we'd be able to put on this tournament for you guys. The first thing that we're doing is really simple. Every kill counts as 1 run. So, 1 kill, 1 run, and whatever team has the most runs at the end of the game wins. So that's really simple. Another thing that we're doing are we're incorporating home runs and grand slams in a super interesting way. If any player in a squad lives into the top 50 players of their lobby, their squad gets a home run. And what a home run does is it gives that squad 2 bonus runs added to their total. If any of those players then go on to live into the top 20 players in the lobby, that home run becomes a grand slam. And instead of the 2 bonus runs for a grand slam, you get 4 bonus runs. So that's added a lot of really interesting dynamics, strategy to the games we've seen so far, and it's been a really fun, interesting way to incorporate that College World Series baseball feel into the traditional esports Call of Duty.
I mean, Ryan, think about it. Just yesterday, Ohio State, the only reason they won the match on the first match against Florida State is because they had that home run. Otherwise, it would have ended in a time when you would have had to go to extra time.
Yeah, absolutely. As we said earlier, Ohio State winning 27-25 over Florida State. That 1 home run Ohio State had gave them 2 bonus runs. That was that 2-run difference that they needed to beat Florida State. So these already, throughout the tournament, we've been seeing that these home runs and grand slams are deciding games, and we're seeing teams play around that strategy. We're seeing teams try and just, if they have 1 squad made up, try and live into the top 50. If they are, doing really well, they'll live maybe into the top 20 and then back out again to a new lobby just so they get those 4 bonus runs. So it's definitely been a really interesting dynamic and a really creative way for the Bragg House to incorporate these 2 events into each other. Another way that we're kind of mimicking the College World Series here is in our last tournament, every game, best of 1, winner take all each game. In this tournament, what we're doing is every single round is a best of 3, just like in the College World Series. So as we said, Ohio State, they beat Florida State game 1. They're going to have to come back and beat Florida State again right now to sweep the series 2-0 and move on to the finals. If Florida State wins this game, the series will be tied up 1-1. And immediately after this, at 7 p.m., we're going to have that game 3 tiebreaker for you guys. So, if you want to see more Call of Duty content, have a really good time hanging out here with us. Definitely root for Florida State here. Hopefully we send it to a game 3 in overtime. And who knows, maybe even Matt will shave his head coming up.
I'm hoping for it. A, it's getting to summertime. It's definitely a little hot. But B, that means that the Seminoles win. So we're going to see, man, they really have to be able to bring it back out.
Scotty B holding it for Ohio State all the time during this chat. What's up, Scotty B? We see.
Oh man, I love to see protruding Wand in the chat too, scouting out the competition. He feels real confident heading into UCLA's game against Virginia Tech later. UCLA, for those of you who missed it yesterday, UCLA, they won their game 1 against Virginia Tech in the other semifinal. And protruding Wand, one of the stars in that UCLA team. So, it's always fun seeing him in the chat, seeing him scout out the competition.
Protruding Wand, it's not over yet. It's not over.
The Ohio State University. You're right, Amelia. My apologies. And we're already seeing a way faster start to this game than we saw yesterday.
Both teams are absolutely jumping into it.
Yeah, Ohio State and Florida State yesterday was definitely a slow start. It took them until that kind of 25-minute mark for them to kind of, catch their surroundings, really get into their groove. But right now, already we're seeing them burst out of the gate. Florida State with 8 runs, 3, 2, and 3 for them, as you can see on our scoreboard here. The Oompa Loompas in the back working hard to keep that scoreboard updated for y'all. Meanwhile, Ohio Sate, 5 runs, not too shabby in their own right, and they're still in their first game, approaching that home run territory.
I was gonna say, Ron, what's interesting? Like, if I remember correctly, in yesterday's match number 1, I believe Ohio State got their home run in their first or second lobby, and that's essentially what guaranteed them the win.
Yeah.
So they're getting close to guarantee that home run again. Maybe that will be like the the major part of the difference, like determining if they're gonna go to a tiebreaker or not.
So, Ryan, what I like to see, we have Amelia Turk in the chat. Yeah, we know one of our good Michigan people who literally wanted to throw hands in the chat. So, you know what? I'm glad she's here. It's the kind of stuff we like to see at Brack House. We like to see the school rivalries. Michigan's not even playing, but Ohio State is, so I would boo against them too if Oklahoma was there.
I'm curious to see who Amelia wants to win now that after Virginia Tech took out Michigan. Is she going to root against Tech, for Tech? You never know. And here we go right now. Florida State's going to be jumping back into the game. Before I eat cherries, an interesting strategy here. They're hanging out on this rooftop, and they got their sniper rifles out, looking around, trying to take some pokes at people, which, snipers so far in this tournament, we haven't seen them do a ton of work. We've kind of seen them as a questionable strategy because
yesterday we saw them do work.
Way. Well, yeah, that's what I was leading into is the only one we've really been able to see use sniper rifles effectively has been Fresh for UCLA, who just went on a tear yesterday with that sniper rifle for them. And cherries right now, wow. That was a long shot and a half right there with the AR.
That's what I expected against OSU for more reasons. That's like someone from saying, you know what, I'm going to go for Oklahoma because, I like their colors. I like the O in the S.
Absolutely.
And by the way, for all of you watching at our stream right now, we just want to remind you all that we're going to do live brag, and Lavelle is going to announce what that live brag is in a moment. But another thing that we're going to do is we're going to give a gift card at some point during the stream. We're going to give some sort of keyword. When we give that keyword, everyone writing that name of the item or product, whatever that is, in the chat, we'll go into a raffle to win that gift card. So stay tuned.
Is it
Absolutely.
better? Is the keyword better than T-shirt like we had it yesterday?
I'm not
polo
going to
shirt,
say
polo shirt. I just definitely better than
was,
giraffe or whatever it was before that.
I'm just gonna say my creativity was blocked yesterday. I just looked down and I was wearing a Banana Republic polo shirt, and that's the first thing that came up to my mind. So I would really appreciate it if you make more fun of me because I deserve it.
Hey, Daniel, you're the one calling out my giraffe sheets, all right? So you're in no position to talk.
No, I literally just said I expect you guys to make fun of it.
Oh, man. Oh, so Ohio State, unfortunately, it looks like they were just 10 kills away from that home run, but their squad's going to go down here, and they'd already been to the gulag. So they're heading back to the main screen right now with no home run to their name. Still got a good number of kills there, so not an empty trip by any means, but tough to leave those points on the board.
Absolutely.
And
No,
Capilano already with a kill again, with a run, and Bappo as well with another run.
And I am hearing both teams talk a lot of strategy. So what I want to do is I want to just tune in real quick so we can kind of hear Some of our boots on the ground, if you would. This is FSU's team talking about team strategy as they play.
Boots on the moon.
Okay, let's get on me.
You got him?
Nope. He's down. Kill him, he's running around. Nice, one dead.
Got him.
Okay,
Teamwork,
yeah, pick me up,
teamwork.
pick me up. Let's go. Let's fucking go, Carlos.
Got you.
Alright, we're gonna get Scavenger.
I'm covering.
Let's run a Scavenger, because we need...
Those
need
follows
plates,
and
bro.
subscriptions
Oh my
are what
gosh.
allow us to put on these tournaments for you guys. Seeing that support, it really means a lot to us. So if you can, throw us a follow, throw us a sub. Subs are free if you have Amazon Prime. And you can just hook up your Twitch account to that and sub to your favorite streamer for free. Hopefully that's us over here at the Bragg House. But we really appreciate that. And as we established yesterday, if you are one of our subs, we will go to bat for you in any Twitch chat fight that comes up.
As long as it's not personal. Don't get the chat personal.
I actually have to say something. Just looking at the statistics of the previous matches, I'm really impressed by Bappo. He did not pass. He had like 5-6 runs in all the past matches, and he's already at 5.
Let's get a bounty.
In this match.
Bappo realized he couldn't keep
towards,
sleeping on these teams. He had to start, putting in some work of his own. Couldn't rely on Apple Juice to do everything for him. And we have Florida State already. They have 100 people left in their lobby, but they just seem to have just taken control of Bone. They're looking really good.
From both these teams, came to play. And yesterday's match literally could have went any way. I mean, it could have went any way. It's like we could have been, Florida State could have won that game. Ohio State could have won that game. So I really just think that this is the right strategy. Come out, swinging those bats hard, get ahead.
I honestly, Lavelle, I envy your ability to work a baseball analogy into any sentence.
I wish they actually
into any sport whatsoever.
We should actually call Call of Duty and tell them that they should put a bat as one of the weapons to swing it to the other people.
Yeah, just start swinging at these elite soldiers with a Louisville Slugger.
Oh my god, that would have been amazing to if that was a weapon in Call of Duty, we would have had to give extra runs.
Yeah,
kill
some
someone.
kind of bonus. Ohio State right now, Cherries, they've seemed to have slowed down a little bit. They're getting back into a game just right now. But they've slowed down a little bit scoring-wise. Cherries, he's got 4 for them, but Astro and KSWB still with just 1 each. Meanwhile, Florida State pretty consistent across the board. Cup of Apple Juice and Bappo with 5 each. Rotato with 2. So Florida State's pulling ahead here just a little bit after the first third of this game.
And now, guys, we did just pull back to the split screen view. Of course, we are joined here, the 4 of us. I am joined here today. I just want to take a minute real quick while we have some minutes before we get down to crunch time in the game. Lavelle, first off, thank you for inviting me to join you guys. We're also greeted by Daniel and Ryan, also with the Bragg House. Lavelle, can you tell me a little bit more about the Bragg House and what your mission is with college sports? This is such an interesting segment to go into esports. I know we've talked about it a little bit, but just for everybody that's joining us at home on Twitch, can you tell us a little bit more about the Bragg House?
Sure, Matt. Bragg House, we've always been about community, and the most important thing to us is bringing these communities around college sports. So we saw an opportunity, we can expand that, again, for people who around college sports and esports. So we started a tournament with March Madness, and it's just been growing. Ryan actually was a gamer for UVA, did some work there, and now our community's even grown, and now Ryan's brought people from UVA, and Daniel and I just want to, like Ryan said earlier, we want to give you more of this kind of things. We listen to what the people say, so if there's any suggestions, things we're going to do, the subscriptions, the follows, all that show that, we can keep doing more. So that's what we're about, man, and we appreciate all the love and support.
Yep.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you guys having us, and again, just hosting these awesome tournaments. I want to get back real quick over to split screen with the scoreboard, just so we can kind of nail down how the runs are laying out. Now, I know a Cup of Apple Juice has continually led for FSU. Same with Cherry. But we also have Bappa Slot and Rotato Chip right now are both putting points on the board.
Rotato Chip!
Where Ohio State's teammates both have 1.
Yeah, and Florida State, we just missed it while we were talking, but they hopped in that helicopter and they were using that to get around. Something we haven't really seen a ton of this tournament, especially in comparison to the last one. We had teams and vehicles left and right. But Florida State, they're getting some nice, good kills here, adding to that run total, and they're approaching that home run territory. None of their teammates, I don't think, have gone to the gulag yet either. So Florida State in a really great position here to get a ton of runs in this lobby. Meanwhile, we have we have Ohio State in the gulag right now. Cherry's going to be going in. They sent all 3 players to the gulag. 1 player already lost his match, but Cherry's putting on for Ohio State. He's saying we're not out of this just yet. He'll get that run and get redeployed for them too.
Scotty B, I don't want to think that I don't root for Ohio State, but I'm really looking for a game 3 here. And if you check the chat, someone says that you could really use that shaved head mask.
Look at that lettuce.
Look at that lettuce, boom.
Look
I know,
at
I am
that
excited
lettuce.
to cut it. I was actually I was talking to Lavelle before we went live today, and I was saying, I almost wore a hat, and then I thought about it, I need to motivate FSU. They need to see the fro.
George,
I think it's
bring out everyone from FSU and tell them that you need to incentivize people to get this guy's hair shaved off. Wherever George is, represent your school hard. I know. Come out.
Meek. Oh, Meek already starting up with the insults.
And honestly, it's like, the other thing, Matt, I think Bragg House is, I think Ryan said yesterday, it's all love and fun. So, we do tell people to, actually be respectful of others. And I think that's an important message. But, we're still all about competition. And, it's like people want to get at me for Texas. Let's talk. It's the Bragg House. So if we're not bragging about our school, then I don't know, we're doing something wrong.
Absolutely. And as long as everything is, all in fun and good sport, nothing too offensive, we're all for the brag talk.
I mean,
horns down, Lavelle. Horns down.
Horns down, baby. What's up?
What?
Oh man,
That looks
no, it's
awesome.
okay, Lavelle. I remember when I thought I wanted to go to Texas, and then I decided I can do better.
It's okay.
Oh man.
Now, as we get into it, we are at 25 minutes left, so I know we're getting closer to the daily brag giveaway as well as the live brag giveaway. So, guys, if you haven't done a daily brag yet, what you can do is go to the website, thebraghouse.com, click on that World Series bracket, and fill out the daily brag for a chance to win every single day that we stream throughout the tournament. And then, of course, we also have the live brag, which, as Daniel said, we will be giving away over the course of this match. At some point, what we're going to do is we will be telling you guys, hey, here is the keyword. All you have to do is type it in chat. Now, in true Bragg House fashion, we want you guys to win. That's why we love giving stuff away. So what we're going to be doing is giving a double prize to, if you happen to win, if you happen to be a follower, if you are a subscriber, you will automatically double up your prize money. So the easiest way to make sure you go home doubling up the cash is easily just press that purple follow button right below the stream. Make sure you're a follower. If you're an Amazon Prime subscriber, you guys can subscribe for free using your Amazon Prime subscription, which supports us and allows us to do more tournaments. And of course, doubles up your prize money.
And guys,
Yeah.
let's do the live brag, just so people can put their answers in because we're at the prime time of this match. The live brag is, who do you think is going to win match number 2, Ohio State or FSU? If you think it's going to be Ohio State, either do OSU or write down Ohio State in the chat. If you think it's going to be FSU, write FSU in the chat right now, and we'll announce the winner. Matt, you can say when we'll announce the winner. I know it's your favorite part.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we'll announce it as we get closer to the end, guys. But you guys will have a few minutes to type it in. Now, of course,
Wow,
make sure you
people
get it
loving
now so we can get
FSU
a
in the
tab.
chat right
FSU
now
is
for that
fat
brag.
love.
George, get rowdy, baby. Get rowdy. Don't stop. Bring the heat, man. This is the finals, baby. Bring the heat.
Oh, guys, and I just noticed.
Florida
Florida
State.
State is 3 kills, 3 deaths to win their lobby from their home run.
Yeah, and they have 3 people up right
Possibly
now too.
just jinxed them.
No, Florida State, I think, may have clutched this. Clutched a home run. They have 2 people up and 51 people. Yeah,
There
I
we
think
go.
Florida State may
Yeah.
have gotten it there.
Yeah, Yeah, no, they just got
They
it. Literally.
just got it there.
There you go.
48 people left and their last person died. So they're going to be getting the first home run of this match. That's 2 bonus runs added to their total. And that's big right now as Ohio State was beginning to kind of close that gap between them.
Now they are having to jump out to the lobby, so it's interesting
Ohio
to see what
State-
they can do at that time.
Ohio State, yeah, just as you said, Matt, they're gonna have some time here. Where Florida State's waiting in that lobby to try and close this 6-run deficit that they have right now, and they're already hot, getting after it. With before I eat cherries, excuse me, is gonna get that kill right there as that enemy squad was heading for the buy station.
Now, guys, we are, of course, bringing you more content tonight. We do have the other UCLA game. Now, UCLA, Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech has Freedom J. They brought a lot of energy
Freedom
yesterday,
J!
but it wasn't enough on his own. He needs
Freedom,
the teammates to step up today.
So I also got to say with Freedom J that my job is on the line, so I need Virginia Tech to win. But
Yeah, for those of you at home who aren't aware, Lavelle and I have a little bet. Lavelle bet on Virginia Tech to win it all, and I think he would get my Squirtle plushie that I have here. I bet that UCLA would win it all, and that bet is for Lavelle's job as CEO of the Bragg House. So I'm really hoping on Protrude Juan to give me a new title, give me a reason to update my business cards.
Now, of course, if you win, you're going to have to keep doing more esports tournaments. You know that, right, Ryan?
Yeah, I can get behind that. This isn't a bad way of life.
I don't know how, but Ohio State is also getting real close for their home run right now. They're like under 20 kill deaths away in their lobby from getting that home run. And again, for those of you who recently joined us, home run essentially means that as long as one of the teammates survives to the last 50 survivor in the lobby, the team as a whole is getting 2 extra runs. And runs are essentially what we call kills, just to put baseball elements into the game. Since College World Series was canceled due to COVID-19 this year, and that's just like a quick explanation for those of you who joined us recently.
And wow, guys, Florida State, 20 minutes left in the game, right? They're already at 24 runs. They had 25 in their entire game yesterday. So not only are they on pace for an insane performance, but they are absolutely crushing how they did yesterday. And you're seeing a couple of Apple Juice and Vapo's slot. They're all they're stepping up right now. Potato Chip still waiting to get hot, but I'm sure it's coming. This Florida State team is looking clean right now.
that's the thing.
Yeah,
Anyone
FSU is on a roll.
They can turn it off. They can turn it on.
Absolutely. Ohio State, meanwhile, they're running around. They're looking for any kills that they can find. But as Daniel was saying, they're not too far from that home run territory, and they look like they got a squad right here that they're taking aim at.
Easy.
One of their players is going to go down.
Looks like they got a sniper.
Yeah, so interesting gameplay here. For me personally, I love playing in the kind of wooded areas of Warzone. You feel like you're really on a real battlefield, going up against squads. The strategy of the game changes so much. It's suddenly you're trying to play a lot more strategic, a little stealthy, hide in your position. So this is great gameplay we're seeing here from these guys.
Right.
Oh, and Cherries is going to get the team wipe there too. Unfortunately, both his teammates goes down, but
Do you like the woods because it makes you feel closer to nature?
Part of their
yeah, I feel like I'm coming home. Oh man, but Ohio State, they're gonna get wiped here. Just 6 people away from that home run, so that's another home run that they're just barely missing out on.
Definitely
That's
not
4
what you
runs that
wanna see.
they've just left on the board. Those 4 runs, with those, it's a way closer game between them and Florida State. That's tough to see.
Now, I found it interesting because I actually was going to mention to you guys that Quad KG in the chat said, "Is Ohio State still playing with the blindfolds on?" And as he said that, I was going to mention it in the chat, and then they died. So he jinxed OSU
Yeah,
there.
Quad, I guess that's your answer, man.
Next round, maybe they're taking the blindfold off. I think we're really going to see a lot of organization, from FSU today because they definitely, they lost yesterday. I think that game difference definitely left them inspired. I think we're going to see the same thing from VT today. VT is such a strong team. Freedom J is such a strong player. Their whole team, they're super organized, but they also know how to really run strats well. So I'm expecting to see them coming out swinging today after yesterday's, performance. Every team has an off day. That doesn't mean that, it's not a great team. That just means that, some days the drops are bad, the spawns are bad. Some days you're just not as organized. I think that they probably regrouped yesterday, got inspired, and then worked hard to come back today. So I think
Matt,
that what we're seeing from FSU now.
I think 100% right, Matt. And it's like what I really love about Virginia Tech is that they're so encouraging to each other. We hear that streams, they're always like encouraging each other, the entire team and stuff. And like for someone who played like organized sports, it's all about a team, and it's like that encouragement and working together. And you got to take that pride together. So I actually always give them that credit for that, dude.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And and we're seeing that from Florida State right now too. I think talking about strategy and things that teams have learned in the first game of the semifinals, Florida State, they've been playing kind of a long game, unlike what we saw yesterday from them. Typically they've been going really hot drops, run and gun style, getting as many kills as they can, then dying quickly, right? Today, they saw that yesterday, that home run made the difference in their game and gave Ohio State the win. They're playing for these home runs now. They're playing for these grand slams. So it is really interesting, watching, of course, I've been watching the entire tournament, seeing how these teams have grown and adapted as the tournament has gone on.
And Ryan, it's interesting. Yesterday, after, the Florida State squad were informed that they lost, and that they lost because they didn't get that home run, I feel that resonated in them like real strong, like the value of those home runs, even more than it was before.
Yeah, and it's like I said, like we're seeing that resonation right now today, as a cup of apple juice starts making his way through Boneyard, getting some loot to try and put his team on his back right now. Is he's going to get another teammate in, it looks like, or another teammate's in the gulag right now. Oh, he's going to end up getting taken out though. So it's all up to cup of apple juice here. Last member alive in his squad in this match. He sees an enemy squad right up ahead of him on that mini map. So it looks like he's going to make a play for that, get any kills that he can, and then try and head back to the lobby so he can be jumping into a new game with a full squad.
And as you guys are seeing at home, we are just now under 15, or getting close to under 15 minutes left. So what you're going to see is both teams really pick it up. I think as, we've seen in honestly both of our tournaments so far, but especially this one, the last like 10 to 13 minutes, Ohio State and FSU, both notorious teams for really kicking it into overdrive. They've already kind of been running at a faster pace, Ryan. I don't know if you'd agree, but I feel like both teams are running much faster than usual today.
Yeah,
so I
and
think that we're about to see them really kick it up.
Absolutely, they know what's at stake. As a couple of apple juice, he's going to be heading back to the main lobby, rejoining his squad there. But both these teams know what's at stake for them. Ohio State, they have a chance to put it away in just 2 games, not have to go that game 3 tiebreaker, which I'm sure they want. They want to secure that spot in the finals as quickly as possible, and have a chance at redemption after they were the runner-up in our March Madness tournament. Florida State, meanwhile, they know that they have it. They've been super confident this entire tournament. Before their first round matchup, we talked to them a little bit, and they were, they knew that they had what it took to go all the way.
I mean,
Ryan, they don't want to go home yet.
I think that we can all collectively say that they took out one of the strongest squads in the earlier stages. TCU was really impressive.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And they just destroyed them, relatively speaking.
Yeah.
It was the same kind of situation too. Like they didn't have a strong, first game, and then just came out just absolutely, I would say relentlessly looking for wins.
Yeah, well, so what was interesting about that Florida State TCU matchup was how Florida State, they won game 1 in a pretty convincing performance, but then TCU game 2, they came out, they set the current record for highest scored total.
Ryan, I'm gonna stop you there for a second, and I think it's time to say what's the key word for today's gift card for this match. Most of you probably can get very close to that word, but haircut. The key word is haircut. We all need one, whether it's to shave our head because FSU is gonna win the tournament, or regardless, it's haircut. right now in the chat, right now, haircut if you want to be considered into a raffle to win a gift card. And like Matt mentioned before, if you throw us a subscription, which is free with your Amazon Prime account, we'll actually double that gift card for you if you win. So go ahead, write in the chat right now, haircut, and you'll be considered to win a gift card provided by Bragg House. So don't wait and go ahead and write it down in the chat right now.
And Katrina, thank you so much for that sub with the Twitch Prime. Katrina won a gift card earlier this tournament.
Absolutely.
So, we really appreciate it. Stuff like that allows us to keep putting on these great tournaments for you guys and keep the content flowing.
And Katrina actually
definitely
just
throw us a
subbed as
follow.
well.
Yeah,
Katrina
throw us a
subbed.
follow, throw us a sub, and we'll be able to keep doing this stuff for you guys. And we do, just want to say we do a lot more than Call of Duty 2. We have a Rocket League tournament coming up, an all-women's Rocket League tournament that we're super excited for. For those of you guys that may have caught it, on Thursday we did a fraternity match between two UVA fraternities. That was a charity match for the ACLU, and we had a great time with that. Raised almost $800 for the ACLU. So, we all at the Bragg House, we're all about, both competition, bragging rights, but also, putting on events for the community. So your guys' support, those follows, those subscriptions, that's what allows us to do all this. So, keep the support flowing, guys, and, we really appreciate it.
And right now we have Ohio State going into the gulag. Not what you want to do when you're trying to catch up and you have just about 10 minutes left in a match. That's FSU's dropping in, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Really, I mean, even if they get out, I believe the other two are also in the gulag right now, right? So
yeah, so
potentially a wipe.
Ohio State, they have all three players in the gulag. Cherries is going to get out, so they have a chance at redeployment here to stay in this game. They're not too far off of that home run territory, and it looks like they're going to need it with just like on about 11 minutes left. They need whatever runs they can get right now to close this gap on Florida State, who they're just back in a new game, so they're going to have plenty of scoring opportunities for themselves here too. And here we see Ohio State. Two of their players are going to lose that gulag match, so it's just up to Before I Eat Cherries, and he's just going to die immediately, which honestly probably is going to be their best bet right now as they head back to that main menu. But a tough showing for Ohio State going into that game, only getting one run from it. And you hate to see that. It kind of feels like a wasted opportunity and a lot of time that's just kind of going down the drain right now for them. And, they don't have time to waste. Just 10 minutes left in this game.
It looks like they're going for cash right now. I don't know if they're trying to get some perks or if they have all three teammates up. So it kind of seems interesting that they're going after missions instead of kills right now. Oh, okay, yeah. They're going for a loadout.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to be going for a loadout drop. They're hitting up these supply crates and stuff. They have that UAV pops right now, so an opportunity to kind of move up on an unsuspecting squad. But Florida State, they've been a little stagnant the past few minutes. Let's see if we can rely on them to pick things up here. And they're gonna get that loadout drop real quickly, it seems like. So they'll be going in to all these battles. They're full custom loadouts, which is always just a huge difference maker in a lot of these fights.
Alrighty, guys, and we are officially under 10 minutes left. That means that we only have a few more minutes for FSU to either secure this or Ohio State to bring it back with a victory and move forward to the finals. Now, if FSU wins today, we are going to have a game 3 to finish that tiebreaker.
Yeah, and it's starting to look that way. It's starting to look like these teams might need to get ready for that game 3. And this is something we haven't seen yet in this tournament. Obviously, we've had more than our fair share of game 3s, but we've yet to see two teams play back-to-back games. Typically it's been so far one game a day for all these teams. It'll be interesting to see how they.
Your boys, George. I had FSU. I had your boys coming through too, Matt.
Yeah, I mean it'll be interesting to see.
I think Ohio State is planning already a surprise for match number 3 if needed.
Oh man, do they have a potential sub coming in? A ringer coming in?
I was just informed behind the scenes that they are planning potential sub. Not sure which one, not sure why, not sure if it's actually going to happen or not. But it's in the plans.
This has been the theme: benched players.
Yeah, bench players coming in and clutching it up. And that's what Ohio State in their first round matchup against Michigan State. They had they brought in a sub for that game 3 when it was tied 1-1, and they came in and just cleaned up.
Yeah,
So,
I believe at
maybe
this
they
point,
can.
I think every team left has subbed at least one player. Some have even subbed 2 players, correct?
Yeah.
I mean, Ohio by this.
Ohio State, yeah, they've had like 3 different lineups.
Okay.
I mean, guys, it's 8 minutes. Anyone who plays sports knows that 8-7 minutes is an eternity in sports.
Yeah, absolutely. See if one of these teams call a timeout or anything, make it last even longer.
It's strong, but anything could happen.
And it'll be interesting to see if something with the sub that we haven't considered is if they do go to a game 3 back to back, bringing in a sub, getting a pair of fresh thumbs on those controllers might make a big difference just in terms of mental stamina. It's having played in a tournament before, it is really, really tough to, for 45 an hour long, just go full tilt, trying to just rush and get as many kills as you can.
Wow.
And a
That
great
Ohio
shots coming
with the
in here,
iron
yeah.
sights, dude. With the iron
Oh,
sights.
Cherries gets the elimination too. That bounty contract.
And that's
Impressive shots.
exactly what we were talking about.
Really?
Those are those shots that, a couple well-played shots like that, a good finish at the end of the round, and you could very quickly, get 7-8 points on the board in less than 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Ryan, it may not be the case, but it did happen with Ohio State already won. In case both teams end up with the same score at the end of the 45 minutes, can you explain to the audience what will be the procedure going? If
Yeah,
that
so
happens?
as Daniel said, we have already seen extra innings once already this tournament. Game 2 between Ohio State and Michigan State. Ohio State, they had to get a grand slam to send themselves into overtime against Michigan State and keep them alive in this tournament. But as you were saying, if it does go to extra innings, both teams have the same number of runs by the end of this 6 minutes that we have left. Then what we will do is we'll have both teams back out of their games and start a 5-minute timer. And both teams are going to jump into a new game. And whatever team can have the most runs at the end of that 5-minute timer moves on. If they have the same amount of runs at the end of that timer, we'll start another 5-minute timer and keep it going until one team wins.
So we have a 5-minute pretty much finish, guys. If there is a tie, we're going to take an extra 5 minutes, see who wins that. If they do somehow tie again, that would be amazing. That would be another first. But if it did happen, we'll have another 5 right after.
Yeah. And our Oompa Loompas in the back, they're working hard to get us some score updates. Ohio State, it looks like they're digging into the lead just a little bit, just barely, trying to tighten it up. We have them at 23 right now. But as I say that, we look at over at Florida State, they're at 29, so now a 6-run deficit for Ohio State. They're going to need some kills here. And, this is the best time for them to do it, as Florida State is going to be backing out into that lobby. So Ohio State, this is kind of like what we saw yesterday, where Florida State, they had to go to that main menu really late in the game with a tight lead. And Ohio State, they were able to take advantage of those last few minutes of gameplay and push themselves ahead.
Now we are under 5 minutes left, guys. 4 minutes, 38 seconds left. We're getting close to the finish. So it's going to be really down, I think. I mean, they are jumping into a new match, but it's really on Ohio State's shoulders completely now.
Ohio State, they're going to be moving up right now. Still kind of taking over Boneyard. And they see an enemy squad right around this corner. They're going to be pushing up. They know they need to get kills and quickly. They have that heartbeat sensor out, trying to find anybody to try and get some runs. And it looks like they spot one on that heartbeat sensor just on the edge. They're going to be pushing up quickly to try and move in. The rest of the squad already engaged.
Got armor.
C4 comes out, shatters some armor, and he's going to get a team wipe there. Unfortunately for them, there was only one player up in that squad, so that's just one run for them. They need to find another squad real quickly. And they're going to be moving back into Boneyard right now, moving in as a squad. Oh, wow, an interesting strategy here. They're gonna send themselves to the gulag, it looks like. Yeah, they're trying to send themselves to the gulag as a way to get some kills. Oh, really? This is something we haven't seen yet in this tournament.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was actually pretty smart, I think.
Yeah, they know that there's no other squads in this area and that they only had just 3.5 minutes left to get some kills. So Ohio State sending 2 of their players into the gulag. Meanwhile, Cherry's their last player up. He's going to be picking up a bounty contract and going to find some kills that way. But we'll see if it pays off. High risk, high reward here. Obviously, this gives them the opportunity.
For the helicopter.
The helicopter. That's a good play, too, enabling him to get to that bounty target more quickly. But, high risk, high reward for Ohio State as, it gives them the opportunity for two pretty, relatively easier kills. But, if they die, they're out. They'll have to be redeployed, bought back in at a buy station. And Cherry's, he's jumping in right now out of that helicopter. It's going to crash, and that's going to take out all of his armor. So Cherry's right now running into this battle. He doesn't have any extra armor plates, completely out of armor. He's pushing in. He's looking for this last squad.
One teammate down in the gulag.
Oh, man. So, yeah, right now, so far, not paying off. Cherry's, here's a player dropping in. He's able to break his armor, but he can't get it down. He's going to be pushing him real quickly. Try and get anything they can. And he's in hot pursuit. He pulls out that heartbeat sensor, but the other player's off. Cherry's is going to have a hard time. Uh-oh, and 2 minutes left. It looks like Ohio State, they're thinking about just backing out of this lobby. 2 minutes left. They're not going to have enough. Yeah, and I realized
think they realize they don't have enough time.
Yeah, they don't have enough time to get into a new game. It's up to Cherry's right now to clutch this for Ohio State.
Now, Cherry could definitely get a triple threat. Finding some contact, connecting with one.
And he gets that down. Not a team wipe, just gets one, but an important run right there as he tries to keep cutting into this Florida State lead. Our Oompa Loompas in the back. Updating these scores for you right now, we have Ohio State down 4 still to Florida State. So, there's a lot on Cherry's back in this next 80 seconds if he wants to close this difference. Florida State, meanwhile, they're just 30 seconds away from entering into a new game. They might have enough time for another kill, but it'll be interesting to see.
Guys, the time should be up already. I think that our timer started perhaps a minute late on our stream.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the teams were told to pause at this point.
All right, so, looks like we're going to be going to a game 3. Florida State
Florida State versus Ohio.
Yeah, Florida State pulling out the game 2 win, tying the series up 1-1. Our Oompa Loompas in the back, they're going to be scoring it out for us, but it looks like our final score will be 30-27, Florida State over Ohio State. And, a strong performance, kind of interesting to see as Florida State, with 20 minutes left, they had 24 runs. And they only got 6 runs in the last, 20 minutes there. We definitely thought they were going to be on pace for a lot more, but, they still got the job done. Ohio State not getting any home runs. They missed out on 2 home runs, just barely. Those 2 home runs, that would have been enough to send it into a, or no, those 2 home runs that they could have gotten, Ohio State would have won.
Now
that would have been 4 bonus runs for them. Would have put them at 31-30.
Now I'm happy because my boys are back into the game, but I don't want to let the fans down either. I know we have a giveaway to do. So,
yeah.
Daniel, who won our live brag for this game?
Our live brag was, let me check real quick. I believe it was Skittles 208 who won the live brag.
Skittles, you won a prize. So what you're going to do is you are going to email events@thebraghouse.com, rbank97. Just put it in the chat for you. You make sure that you, looks like he's excited. I don't know what he,
Skittles
something in all
got timed
caps.
out for the all caps message.
There we go.
He fixed it for us. He fixed it. That's funny.
There we go.
Congratulations, Skittles. And Skittles, remember, if you do decide to sub with that Twitch Prime, we will double the value on that gift card. That goes for all of our daily brags and giveaways that we have going on during the stream today. So definitely consider following, consider subscribing, guys. It makes a huge difference. It allows us to keep putting on these events for you. And, we have a lot of fun doing it. We know you guys enjoy it. So just, consider that follow, consider that subscription. You can do it for free with Twitch Prime.
And we are, again, guys, we do have another game. So we are bringing you more entertainment. So later on at 8 p.m. Eastern, we are going to be bringing you guys.
Guys, we're gonna have the match tie number 3 starting in 10 minutes.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
You know, we have game 3 coming up immediately.
Boppo said,
Unlike
run
the-
it back. As Boppo said, run it back.
Run it back, Turbo. What's up?
There we
Let's
go.
go.
Yeah, so as Daniel was saying, our first time that we're gonna have a game 3 immediately after a game 2. I'm really curious to see how these teams are gonna be able to handle this back-to-back hour of gaming, pretty much. It looks like both teams they're not gonna hop in any game. They're not gonna stay warm. They're gonna take their little breaks right now, which I do not blame them.
Definitely
There's
don't
a
blame them on that.
high stress environment trying to just compete for 45 straight minutes.
Yeah, definitely a little stressful, I think, for them, especially going into second game back to back. Definitely not, the easiest situation, but at least they're all warmed up. So I think that they're probably, if anything, going to hit this one going much more fast paced.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see if we see the same kind of hot start from both these teams that we saw at the beginning of this game. Florida State, especially, just right out the gates.
Guys, we just got the news, and I'm thoroughly confused. I'm not sure why. It might be an availability issue of some sort, but apparently Cherries is the one being replaced for the tiebreaker.
Wow. So Cherries, for those of you guys who are unaware, before I eat Cherries, Ohio State's highest scorer in that last game. He's been their highest scorer pretty much this entire tournament. He had 13 individual runs there for Ohio State. This is big. This is a really big sub here. They're missing out on a ton of points.
Yeah, I mean, subbing your best player is probably not, the most competitive decision.
Yeah, so I mean, it'll be interesting to see if maybe they're bringing on an even better one. If they'll be able to carry the team to victory. But that being said, Ohio State as a team, Ashto with 8 runs, KSWB with 6. Not a shabby performance by any means, and we know we can see better out of both those players as well. So maybe
we saw a sub come in for Ohio State and just literally lit everything up. So I mean, we never know. It could be one of those special subs.
I will say this: the guy who's replacing Cherries is Nick Pappy, who played yesterday, who had 11 runs.
Oh, okay.
So it's a comparatively speaking, it's a decent replacement. I mean, he might be on the swing today and actually top Cherry, because in yesterday's match they actually had both 11 runs. So it might be just a matter of timing or something like that.
Absolutely.
Wow,
Absolutely.
Absolutely jaw-dropping information here coming in from Daniel. Ohio State subbing out their highest score of the tournament so far, replacing him with another great player that we've seen throughout the tournament. Man, I gotta say, Ohio State, I'm a little bit worried. I'm a little bit worried for them, especially seeing how strong Florida State looked out the gate of that game 2. Now, that being said, Florida State, they lost a lot of momentum at the end of that. They had a huge lead over Ohio State, and they let them come back into that game, made it really close there at the end. I'll be curious to see if Florida State is going to be able to pick it back up. Maybe they take this 15-minute break that they're getting, and they have an opportunity to reevaluate, readjust, and get after it again.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have to, they're really going to have to bring it now, especially subbing out their best player. They're going to have to, get reorganized as a squad, but then, of course, also put the points on the board to decide this game 3.
Yeah, that's a really good point. How's the chemistry going to look here for Ohio State? What is the team dynamic going to be? Who's going to be that in-game leader for them, so to speak, that we know Cherries had been? Oh, man. It's a tough one.
Yeah,
it's going to be interesting.
Definitely going to be interesting.
Lavelle right now staring at the screen. He's zoomed in. He's ready to go. He cannot wait.
I am. I'm so focused right now. I mean, this competition has been amazing. I'm so focused. I got my Texas shirt on. I mean,
guys, maybe we should take a break ourselves for a few minutes and come back at 7 p.m. sharp.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sounds great.
Alrighty, guys, so we will be right back. So tune in a few minutes. We have our tiebreaker coming up. And then, of course, after that, we have our next game, UCLA versus Virginia Tech, coming up right after. So, guys, we'll be right back. In the meantime, make sure you guys go get a drink, do whatever you gotta do, go get some snacks, tune in, because we have tons more Call of Duty coming at you right after this.